Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video here on this very beautiful day in the markets on Ethereum. We're going to do a full update here on Ethereum. We just broke out, all right? We got the breakout that we spoke about yesterday as well. That's why I wanted to make another update today, because usually I cover Ethereum every other day. By the way, if you're interested in more Ethereum analysis, let me know, and also consider subscribing, right? Because then you'll see when a new Ethereum has been uploaded. But no, pretty good morning so far. I mean, Ethereum, the volume has been pretty good over the course of the Asian session. And then at 5 o'clock this morning, so during the Asian session as well, we finally were able to break above that major resistance level at 2600, which Ethereum tried to break above yesterday evening as well already, when Bitcoin was extremely strong, but wasn't strong enough then. Yesterday, what was it? We actually had a pretty severe pullback here as well. I mean, I covered Ethereum yesterday morning, of course. We pulled back then. Then you can see another pullback yesterday when Bitcoin was reaching those all-time highs at 108, 109, I think, or 110. Not the all-time highs we made over the course of the night. Pretty severe pullback here in combination with the equity markets as well. So it has been quite volatile. But that also means that, this actually looks like a real breakout, because you can see, first of all, like the most important level, especially if you zoom out, is this value area high right here at 2600. And then you could make the argument that the key level itself still moves up a little bit higher. My apologies for the telephone in the background. You could say that the main resistance level moves up to like 2620, but you can see on the 4-hour time frame, we broke above that with volume as well. So this looks like a real breakout. Now, does that mean that you should buy Ethereum right now? I think technically it is not here, all right? Because we'll get to that a little bit later when we're talking about where we can go right here with Ethereum. Not right here, but ultimately buying Bitcoin or buying Ethereum is not a bad decision. But I would say that there are some other coins right now that look better. If you take a look at Sui, for example, but we'll still cover that in a different video. So far, at least, what we have is we have a value area high at 2600 that has capped the value for a very long time already. Technically, Ethereum has broken above that. And now it's up to us to analyze, is Ethereum actually doing a good job at breaking out? And I would argue to a certain extent, yes, because the volume is actually pretty good. And I haven't looked at this, but I would assume that ETH BTC is also doing something a little bit better. Yeah, ETH BTC is also showing some strength right here, and we could get a breakout. However, I'm also still a little bit cautious, and I'm cautious for different reasons. First of all, ETH BTC is looking better. However, we still have a major resistance level we need to break above. I would prefer to wait for that. Then second of all, the total 3, right? So the total market cap, excluding BTC and ETH, but still giving a pretty good overview of what the market looks like, is at a major resistance level. Others is also at a major resistance level. And then if you take a look at ETH specifically, there's quite a lot of leverage. And that's not the end of the world, because every time the price moves up and every time we break out, usually there's a lot of leverage. But that makes me hesitant with ETH. I'm much more confident in other positions. The next main resistance level for ETH is also the yearly rolling VWAP at 2730. So the potential reward is very capped. So I would say, is this a real breakout? I'm leaning yes. The chart is telling me yes, right? So even though we might have a bit of a deeper pullback, a bit of a fake out back within the range, I do think it's most likely that this is a real breakout eventually, and that will move up higher into 2730, where we have the yearly rolling VWAP, but then also into 2800 and 2850, which if you zoom out, that's a major supply zone. So I do think this is most likely, but I would much rather wait for some sort of a fake deviation back within the range, a touch of the 7-day rolling VWAP, or potentially even of the POC, and that we get the breakout again after that. I would much prefer to do that, given how other indices are looking, than to just long at market right here for Ethereum. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know regarding Ethereum. Hopefully it helps. All right, but yeah, like I said, if you're interested in more Ethereum updates, consider subscribing. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.